You spend your whole workday dreaming about your evenings, and then you waste them. You're fighting the clock, but you should be fighting exhaustion. We're changing that right now. It's quite ironic when you consider it. Most of us spend our workdays dreaming about our free time, counting down the minutes until that clock hits 5 o'clock or 6 p.m. We romanticize the hours ahead. We envision reading a brilliant book, starting that long neglected hobby, cooking a healthy, gourmet meal, or having genuinely meaningful conversations. But then, when evening finally arrives, this might resonate with you. We waste it. The energy we thought we'd have simply vanishes. We end up scrolling mindlessly through apps we don't even care about, watching random videos that hold zero long-term value, or just sitting there, feeling too exhausted, too mentally drained to do anything truly meaningful. The laptop is physically closed, but the mental work mode is still humming, often manifesting as a low-grade anxiety about all the things we could be doing but aren't. Listen, I understand completely. I used to be exactly like that. Actually, worse than that. Every evening was just a blur of exhaustion, missed opportunities, and the same old cycle of regret. It was a vicious loop, dream all day, waste the evening, wake up feeling unfulfilled, and start dreaming again. It's the moment when the clock strikes the end of the workday and your brain, instead of seeing an opportunity, sees an emergency shutdown. Your emotional and mental reserves are empty, and all you can do is seek the easiest, lowest effort form of dopamine, which, for most of us, means a screen. It continued that way for years until something fundamental transformed how I spend my after-work hours. Before you think, oh, great, another set of impossible habits to add to my already overflowing list, pause for a moment. What you're about to learn isn't another collection of rigid rules or unrealistic routines designed for people who have endless energy and no real-world responsibilities. These are proven, simple strategies that I've seen work time and time again for all kinds of people in all kinds of jobs. These are strategies that work with your natural energy and your human psychology, not against them. They are simple changes, and I mean genuinely simple, almost embarrassingly so. That can transform your evenings from just being recovery time into genuine growth time. In the next few minutes, we're not just going to talk about habits. We're going to explore powerful systems that work together to help you reclaim your evenings. This is the bedrock of what allows you to break the evening paradox. We'll cover everything from energy management, which is fundamentally different from what you might expect, to practical digital wellness techniques, from psychological principles to hands-on habits. Basically, we're going to cover everything you need to turn your evenings into the best, most fulfilling part of your day. And I mean that sincerely. We have to acknowledge a core truth: the way you spend your evenings actually shapes your entire life. It determines your physical health, your relationships, your career growth, and your emotional resilience. If you're using your evenings to continuously drain yourself or numb your mind, you're creating an increasingly shaky foundation for the rest of your existence. But here's the crucial misunderstanding. Most people get it all wrong about fixing their after-work hours. They focus so much on time management, trying to squeeze in 10 tasks into a 3-hour window. But what they really need is energy management. Consider this for a moment. Your evening isn't just numbers on a clock. It's a dynamic period defined by your energy levels, your mental state, and your capacity to actually enjoy life after work. You might have 3 hours, but if 2 of those hours are spent fighting a mental fog, you really only have 1 hour of useful time. And that's exactly what we need to work on together: optimizing your energy. Let's start with one fundamental practice that I consistently use: the shutdown ritual. It's beautifully simple, but psychologically profound. When you officially finish work, don't just sigh and switch tabs. Instead, stand up, take 3 deep, intentional breaths, and physically close your laptop. What makes this so incredibly effective? It's not just some cute, aspirational habit. It's an undeniable psychological trigger that tells your brain, instantly and unequivocally, work mode OFF. It creates a hard, mental boundary between your professional self and your personal self. 4. Next, most people tend to stumble by seeing their free time as one large, intimidating, and often overwhelming chunk. We need to implement a strategy known as the 90-minute evening block system. Your brain naturally works in 90-minute focus cycles. We call them ultradian rhythms. Instead of seeing your evening as one big blob of free time, we're going to break it into what I call power blocks. I recommend 3 distinct blocks to cover all your needs. Block 1, recovery. This is your non-negotiable decompression time. No decisions, no planning, no screens, if possible. Just pure recharge. Go for a walk, listen to music, take a bath. And yes, you absolutely need this block. Block 2, growth. This is where the transformation happens. Whether it's learning something new, getting some intentional movement in, working on a side project, or engaging with a creative hobby. This is the block where your energy, having been refreshed in block 1, starts climbing back up. Block 3, connection/preparation. Your energy is balanced now, making it perfect for quality time with family or friends, or for investing in your future self by preparing for a successful morning. We are going to get deeper into each of these blocks, but the key insight is that by structuring your evening around your energy, you ensure that you are applying the right type of activity to the right mental state. You are treating your mind and body not as machines, but as complex systems that need both rest and stimulation. We've set the scene by acknowledging the evening paradox, that gap between dreaming of free time and actually living it. We established that the solution isn't fighting the clock, it's mastering our internal batteries. We need to shift our focus entirely from trying to manage our time to successfully managing our energy. Let's get into the mechanics of how we achieve this fundamental transformation. Most people believe their evening is simply an extension of the workday, the last gasp of their daily energy. But that's a crippling belief. If you treat your evenings as just borrowed time, you're repaying with exhaustion, you will never truly unlock them. We need to flip the script entirely. Let's start with something unexpected, something that genuinely transformed my approach: reverse scheduling. Most people plan their day sequentially, starting from morning to evening. I wake up at 7, work until 5, then I have the evening. But consider this powerful insight. Your evening affects your morning far more profoundly than your morning affects your evening. If you have a disastrous evening, late night scrolling, poor sleep, chaotic preparation, your morning is already crippled before your alarm even rings. Therefore, we're going to flip the script. Start with the most crucial marker. When do you want to be asleep? Let's say you aim to be asleep by 10:30 p.m. Work backward from there. If you need 30 minutes to wind down and read a book, the analog hour, which we'll cover soon, must start at 10 p.m. If your growth block requires 90 minutes of focused effort, that must start no later than 8:30 p.m. By planning your evening blocks backward from your desired wake-up time, you turn your evenings from an open-ended pit of possibility into a structured, highly valuable runway leading straight into a successful tomorrow. This simple act tells your brain, this time is not infinite, it is precious and purposeful. Now, let's look at the crucial element that connects all our power blocks: the 2-minute evening reset. Often, the reason we waste time is because we mentally struggle to transition between activities. We finish eating, but the dishes sit there, serving as a reminder of the task we haven't completed. We try to read, but the glow of the laptop reminds us of work. This lingering mess, physical or digital, creates cognitive friction. The solution is deceptively simple. Every time you switch activities, take just 2 minutes to physically reset your space. When you finish eating, spend 2 minutes clearing the table and loading the dishwasher. When you move from your recovery block to your growth block, spend 2 minutes clearing your desk, adjusting the lighting to be cozier, or even just changing your clothes into something that feels intentional for your personal time. These might seem like small, almost trivial actions, but they create profound psychological changes. They build momentum and they send a clear message to your subconscious mind. The previous chapter is closed. I am now fully present for the next activity. This is the mechanism that prevents that feeling of being stuck or too tired to start. It builds what I call a fortress of flow around your evening time. Let's talk more about that first block, the recovery block, because this is where most transformation fails. We're taught to earn rest, but the truth is, recovery is not a reward. It's a non-negotiable input. If you plunge straight from the high stress of work with your cortisol levels likely elevated directly into trying to force yourself to do a productive hobby growth block, you are setting yourself up for failure. Your brain is still in fight or flight mode, not creative mode. Your recovery block should be 60 to 90 minutes of pure decompression. The rule is simple: no decisions, no planning, no screens, no guilt. This is the time for a walk outside without your phone. This is the time for stretching or movement snacking. This is the time for listening to an instrumental album or making a cup of tea. The goal is to lower your heart rate, drop your cortisol levels, and transition your brain from the prefrontal cortex, the decision-making, taxing part to the parasympathetic nervous system, the rest and digest part. This dedicated space for de-escalation makes your subsequent growth block exponentially more effective. The final piece of this foundational shift is adopting the evening energy investment mindset. Stop seeing your evening as a debt you're paying off after a stressful day. Instead, view every minute of intentional rest, structured time, or fulfilling activity as an investment you are making into your future self. When you spend an hour reading a book, you are investing in your intellectual growth. When you spend 90 minutes focused on a hobby, you are investing in your joy and skill acquisition. When you go to bed on time, you are investing in tomorrow's focus and resilience. This mindset shift is powerful because it replaces the feeling of wasting time with the empowering knowledge that each restful or productive moment is actively building tomorrow's energy reserves and fulfilling your long-term potential. By moving away from rigid time tracking and embracing the intentional structure of reverse scheduling, the power of the 2-minute reset, and the necessary input of the recovery block, you finally put the reins of your evening back in your own hands. You stop reacting to exhaustion and start proactively managing your valuable energy. Now you know the secret. Ditching time management for energy management is the foundational shift. But knowing the strategy is only step one. If you're ready to take these insights, from reverse scheduling to the 2-minute reset, and build them into a complete 30-day personalized action plan, I've created something just for you. My new guide, 30 Days to a Better You, takes the confusion out of the transition. It gives you daily, step-by-step blueprints to implement your fortress of flow, master your micro habits, and completely reshape your routine in just 1 month. Stop just surviving your evenings. Start designing your life. Click the link below and grab your copy of 30 Days to a Better You today. Let's start building that better life tonight. We've established the structural framework, the importance of energy management over time management, and the necessity of reverse scheduling and the 2-minute reset. Now we turn our attention to the two greatest threats to this newfound structure, the digital world and our own exhausted minds. This is where we build the inner and outer fortress around our precious evening time. Let's start with the most insidious evening destroyer, digital wellness. A well-designed evening absolutely requires firm digital boundaries. Consider this comparison. In those old movies, vampires drain physical energy. Well, your phone, your laptop, and your tablet are the modern energy vampires. They are quietly, relentlessly draining your evening potential, one notification and one endless scroll session at a time. The irony is, we keep them close because we fear missing out, but they actively cause us to miss out on our own lives. I'm going to share an approach that sounds radical, but is profoundly freeing. I call it app mortality. Here's the challenge. Every week, or even every evening for a short period, delete one non-essential app from your phone. A common immediate concern is, but what if I need it tomorrow? And that's fine. You can always reinstall it. But what's truly remarkable is that 90% of the time, you won't even remember which app you deleted, or you'll realize you never needed it in the first place. This simple act breaks the automatic, subconscious habit of opening apps just because they exist on your home screen. It forces intentionality back into your digital life. This leads directly to the core practice, the analog hour. It's beautifully simple. 1 hour before you intend to sleep, your devices go to sleep before you do. But the crucial element that most people miss, and this is what makes it effective, is that you don't just turn them over or silence them. You must physically put them in a different room. Consider the psychological shift. Your bedroom instantly becomes a sanctuary, a true haven for rest, instead of feeling like a satellite office, entertainment center, or notification station. When you combine this with the simple act of using a traditional, non-phone alarm clock, you create a fortress around your sleep. To be clear, digital minimalism isn't about living like it's 1985. It's about using technology intentionally. What I've found most effective is choosing a maximum of 3 essential apps for your evening. Maybe a meditation app, a music streaming service, and an audiobook app. That's it. Everything else, I promise you, is just digital noise robbing you of valuable attention. Another approach that builds physical barriers is what I call screen life separation tactics. The idea is to make accessing your devices slightly inconvenient. Try putting your charger in the kitchen or the living room, ensuring you never charge your phone beside your bed. Keep your laptop in a dedicated drawer or bag when the workday is done. These might seem like such small friction points, but they build a protective wall around your evening peace. Remember this key principle. Technology should serve your evening, not steal it. Now that we've handled our devices, we'll focus on something equally important, our minds. Your mind is essentially the control room of your evening, and these psychological techniques are the levers that transform that control. A vital insight that fundamentally changed how I think about screens is related to what I call digital sunset protocols. Consider this: your brain doesn't distinguish between the blue light from your screen and bright daylight. So when you're staring at a tablet until midnight, your brain thinks it's high noon, completely stalling melatonin production. But the key insight isn't just when you look at screens, it's about how you transition away from them. This brings us to a concept that transformed my evenings: creating your evening sanctuary. This isn't just about throwing some comfortable pillows around. It's about building a space that whispers to your brain, this is where transformation happens. Think dim lights, soft textures, calm colors, and clean surfaces. Why? Because your environment speaks directly to your subconscious mind. When you enter a calm space, your mind intuitively shifts toward calm. Here is a powerful psychological technique you can practice every night: future self journaling. Every evening, try writing a short note or a letter to your morning self. But here's the psychological element that makes all the difference. Don't write what you should do. Instead, write how you want to feel the next morning. For example, dear morning self, I want you to feel energized, focused, and excited to tackle that first task. You see, your brain has this amazing ability to reverse engineer the path to those desired feelings. By setting the emotional tone the night before, your subconscious works overnight to align your actions and decisions in the morning to meet that feeling. It's a gentle, yet potent form of positive self-coercion. Finally, we need to focus on decision elimination strategy. By evening, your decision-making muscles, your cognitive energy, are literally exhausted. This is why we resort to the path of least resistance. What works best? Eliminate every possible decision before the evening begins. Lay out tomorrow's clothes. Pre-plan your meals, even if it's just deciding on takeout. Set up your morning coffee station or exercise space. This is an act of radical kindness to your future self. By making the necessary decisions when your energy is high in the morning or the weekend, you free up your precious evening mental bandwidth for genuine growth and relaxation, not for trivial exhaustion. Building your fortress means understanding that the battle for a fulfilling evening is won not by willpower, but by design. Designing digital boundaries and designing psychological prompts that steer your mind toward rest and growth. We've mastered energy, built our mental and digital fortress, and now we move to the most exhilarating part of the process: becoming an architect of small, powerful actions. This is where we turn insights into lasting, effortless habits. An insight I gained from working with hundreds of people is that building effective evening habits isn't about forcing yourself to change through sheer willpower. That approach is exhausting and unsustainable. It's about becoming a skilled architect of actions that transform your life naturally. The key element here is naturally. The first tool in our architect's toolkit is micro-habit stacking. Instead of trying to build one big, overwhelming habit, like I'm going to learn a new language for an hour every night, which rarely works, we stack tiny ones together. Each one should take less than 30 seconds. That's the optimal time frame, because it's too short to require significant motivation or decision power. It works like this. Find a natural moment in your evening routine and stack 3 small, related actions onto it. For example, when you walk through your front door after work, you create a chain. When I walk through the front door, I immediately hang my keys on the hook, micro-habit 1. When I hang my keys, I immediately take off my work shoes, micro-habit 2. When I take off my shoes, I immediately change my clothes into comfortable evening mode, attire, micro-habit 3. See what happened there? 3 micro-habits linked together by one natural moment. The momentum from the first step effortlessly carries you through the next 2. This leverages your brain's natural tendency to follow sequential patterns, bypassing the need for conscious effort. Something significant emerges when you identify your evening keystone habit. Think of a keystone in architecture. It's the central stone at the top of an arch that locks all the other stones into place. Your evening keystone habit is the first small domino that makes all the others fall into your desired sequence. For me personally, it's something incredibly simple: making a cup of herbal tea. This simple, mindful act sends a definitive, undeniable signal to my brain. The evening transformation begins now. It's the signal that triggers the shutdown ritual, the shift into the recovery block, and the mental preparation for a fulfilling evening. Find your own keystone habit. It could be dimming the lights, putting on background music, or lighting a candle. This one small act is your personal signal that the sacred evening time has begun. Now, let's talk about avoiding the biggest enemy of consistent evening growth: boredom. Most people make this mistake. I certainly did. They try to stick to one hobby, like painting or reading, every single evening. That's essentially like trying to eat the same meal every single day. Eventually, your brain will reject it. Instead, try creating a wheel of 4 different activities. Gather a rotating list of 4 enjoyable, meaningful activities. Maybe reading, drawing, playing a musical instrument, and crafting. Every night, rotate to the next activity on the wheel. Your brain absolutely loves this variety. It keeps the neurological pathways engaged, prevents the mental fatigue of repetition, and completely prevents that crushing feeling of evening boredom. Variety ensures vitality. Here's another tool that keeps your mind agile: the daily experiment protocol. This might sound like something from a science lab, but it's incredibly playful. Each evening, try one tiny new thing. Maybe sit in a different chair than usual to read. Use your non-dominant hand for a simple task like brushing your teeth. Play music you've never heard before while you cook. I started doing this, and it changed my entire perspective. These small, low-stakes experiments keep your brain flexible and your evenings infinitely more interesting. They break the chains of routine monotony. This is where real, tangible impact occurs. Creative cross-pollination. Start allowing your evening activities to blend and influence one another naturally. If you're learning guitar, try doodling the chord patterns you're learning. If you're reading a novel, try acting out the scenes when you're alone, or writing a short summary of the chapter. When activities mix like this, your brain creates amazing new neural pathways. It connects disparate skills and ideas. When you practice creative cross-pollination, evening boredom becomes literally impossible, and your growth accelerates far beyond just practicing one skill in isolation. And finally, a valuable lesson I wish I'd known years ago is to embrace the idea of a creative fallow period. Inevitably, some evenings your energy will be genuinely low. But here's the game-changing perspective: that's not failure. It's actually your brain's natural reset. The term fallow comes from agriculture. It's when a field is intentionally left unseeded for a season to restore its fertility. These quiet, seemingly unproductive moments aren't empty at all. They are like the field resting between harvests, deeply preparing for your next creative or energetic burst. Honoring the fallow period is essential for sustainable growth. By becoming a micro-habit architect, you stop relying on heroic feats of willpower and start allowing small, intelligent systems to naturally guide you toward a fulfilling, high-growth evening. We've covered the structure, the psychology, the digital defense, and the micro-habit architecture. We've built a powerful system for reclaiming your evening. But what makes all these individual pieces stick together? What turns a collection of tips into a sustainable lifestyle? The answer lies in integration. These final strategies are the framework that makes all other evening practices connect, reinforce, and sustain each other naturally. They are not supplementary tips. They are the mortar holding the bricks of your new routine together. The first critical integration point is the life-work separation ritual. Most people try to build a solid, impenetrable wall between their work life and their personal life. They believe that by rigidly cutting off one from the other, they will achieve balance. But that intense rigidity often creates more tension and stress than it solves. Work is an extension of life, and trying to forcibly separate the two creates a psychological tug-of-war that you lose every single evening. Instead of a wall, what we're going to build is a bridge. Picture creating a deliberate 15-minute transition space with intentional steps. Think of it like a gradual decompression chamber. With each step across this bridge, you're moving further from work mode and closer to life mode. For example, the first 5 minutes, physical change. Close the laptop, the shutdown ritual, change your clothes, and transition to your comfortable evening footwear. The next 5 minutes, mental release. Go for a short walk around the block, listen to one song that you love, or write down 3 things you accomplished at work, then put the list away. This is the mental offloading. The final 5 minutes, sensory shift. Dim the lights, turn on soft, ambient music, And make your keystone habit, for example, that cup of tea. 2. This structured transition is gentle, consistent, and highly effective. It acknowledges that your brain needs time to catch up, replacing the stress of a hard stop with the relief of a soft landing. A key insight about setting boundaries is this: it's not about building walls at all. Think about training a puppy for a moment. You know how gentle, consistent guidance works infinitely better than harsh, punitive rules, right? That's exactly what we're doing here. When work inevitably tries to creep back into your evening, and it will try via an unnecessary email or a stray thought, don't fight it. Simply guide your attention back to your personal life, just as you gently guide a puppy back to its bed. Be firm, but kind to yourself. Next, we must integrate our social life into our evening framework with the social battery management system. We talk about physical energy, but your social energy matters just as much. Mastering this aspect leads to creating evenings that genuinely fill you up instead of leaving you feeling drained and empty. Your social battery works exactly like your phone battery. Just like checking your phone's charge, you need to know precisely how much social energy you have left. Some social activities, like a lively group call, actually drain you down. Others, like a quiet, deep conversation with one friend, can surprisingly charge you up. The key is figuring out your unique pattern and scheduling social interaction within your 90-minute blocks only when your energy is appropriate. This includes the vital need to conduct an energy vampire audit. 3. Let's be clear. Energy vampires aren't bad people. They are simply people whose energy patterns clash with yours, leaving you disproportionately exhausted. Start noticing which evening social interactions leave you feeling tired versus energized. Remember, this isn't about avoiding people. It's about timing your interactions wisely. Schedule draining interactions for your higher energy growth block, or move them to the weekend when you have more recovery time, preserving your precious weeknight hours for true rest and connection. Finally, we come to what ties everything together: the whole life integration framework. Your evening is not some separate, isolated part of your day or your life. It is actually the foundation of it. Every single activity you choose between 5 p.m. and bedtime is either building or draining your life's energy reserves. When you consistently practice the strategies we've discussed, choosing activities that fill you up growth block, creating spaces that lift your spirit sanctuary, and building relationships that light up your world connection block, you are not just managing time. You are conducting a daily performance review of your life's values. When you do this consistently, your evening transforms from a constant battle against fatigue into this beautiful, predictable, daily celebration of who you are becoming. The hours you spend after work become the most reliable predictor of your long-term happiness, health, and personal success. You move from surviving the day to designing the life you truly want. These systems are the keys to unlocking the evening you deserve. An evening that finally fulfills the promise you make to yourself every time you dream of free time.